A very warm welcome to you out there for joining us in this special edition of the program AIT INFOTECH Network, and I am Bayero Agabi. For details, you can log on to aitinfotechnetwork.com, or better still, you watch us live on Saba Africa TV, that is on YouTube. You're welcome. For news, views, trends in ICT globally and Africa in particular, watch AIT INFOTECH Network for the latest news and innovation in ICT for development in Africa. Plus, what technology can do for you from business to politics, tourism and culture. I am Bayero Agabi. You're welcome.
The accelerated liberalization of the past decade has allowed the rapid growth of Nigeria's ICT sector. A telecoms penetration rate of more than 70% has been reached, up from 2% in 2002, with a mobile footprint covering most of the country. Internet users continues on an upward slide, with over 45 million Nigerians connected. On the global scene, the story is not different, as millions of applications are driving the numerous devices churned out by manufacturers, from smartphones to tablets and gaming devices. Communication has become at the speed of light. This quickly brings to mind the relevance of the traditional mailing system in today's digital world.
The advent of television has not obliterated the use of radio. So the advent of computer technology also has not obliterated the use of television. So it's going from one aspect of technology, whether it is the lowest stratum to highest. So you discover that the post will always be a civilization propelled industry, and industry that also propels civilization.
In the United States, which is home to some of the world's biggest tech companies, the post office has come under severe pressure. In the UK, the seeming death of the post office made the government to make serious commitments to save the system in 2010, providing about £1.34 billion to modernize the post office network and safeguard its future. Similarly, the Nigerian government recently moved the Nigerian Postal Service to the Ministry of Communication Technology for proper communication and integration into the demands of the new age. But generations that have grown in the internet age are seeing less and less utility in mail services, as most offerings have moved online.
Personally, it's been a while because I can easily log on to the internet on my inbox and get all the documents I need, or exchange correspondence with friends, family, and even co-workers.
Yes, it's not often. I can remember the last time I make use of it was last month.
With such trouble for the postal system, the question is, what should it be doing next?
I think the first thing that will attract people to really pay attention to Nipost services is fast delivery of service. People want things to be done right on the spot. They want their message to get to the recipient, and from there they will be comparing what internet can offer them, or rather what the digital world can offer them.
I believe what they can do is that they should try to update the way and manner they operate their business.
Innovation, they say, makes the difference. Smart countries are innovating to ensure the post office remains relevant in today's digital world. A lot of post offices across the world now offer banking, mobile services, digital document handling, and online access, among others. In Nigeria, the story is not different, as Nipost says it's transiting from their existing model to the digital world.
Well, as far as Nipost is concerned, the electronic-based services are just leveraging on what Nipost has ever been doing, trying to bring people in places within the possibility of the highest level of transportation mode. And electronic device today is a higher service of transporting messages from one place to another. On the basis of that, it is a dictum in the postal service that the highest level of technology should be incorporated into every aspect of the post. And as a result of that, today You will see before we were using something like postal and money order. We have now translated and transformed into using what is called the post cash. We are also having a kind of relationship with the central bank, which is trying to ensure the appropriate use of the highest level of technology in what is called financial inclusion, which forms one of the cardinal principles of the Universal Postal Union.
Despite the challenges faced by the traditional mailing system, the post office, governments across the world see it as more than a commercial entity serving a distinct social purpose. So the post office must be protected and properly funded to meet up with the demands of the new age. Nigeria is Africa's second largest economy, on track to becoming one of the 20 largest economies in the world by 2020. But this dream could be marred, going by its inability to diversify its economy. Experts say, though the petroleum sector is important, it remains a small part of the country's overall vibrant economy, with successive government paying little attention to the other sectors, including technology, manufacturing, among others.
Government is the biggest buyer in this country. The economic control of government is probably 70%. They should first of all lead by example, buy locally. Similar to what you're trying to do about local content. Once you do that, and I say, we built Abuja, that is the biggest city that has been built in the world in the last 15 years, 20 years after they won in Brazil. And during that period, almost all our cement factories went down. All ceramic factories that make whiteware for toilets and so on closed down. The paint industry, almost all of them went down. Something's wrong with us.
Our government should find ways to make sure that local capacity is being built. Not if there's not enough capacity, let's import. They should say, why is this capacity not enough? Then let it be enough. And you can make any capacity enough in 2 months.
It was on this note that stakeholders gathered in Ibafu, Ogun State, to appeal to the federal government to formulate and implement stringent policies that will compel patronage of made-in-Nigeria goods, as this has been one of their major headaches.
Many industries, such as bioorganics, are not promoted. We are not even then protected. So we suffer commercial injury. Because foreign companies who do what we do here, whom we know better what to do, are bringing in their products and Nigerian companies are buying from them without any commitment to buy from local industries who match quality and price and just-in-time delivery.
The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Olusegun Aganga, who listened carefully to their request, said the ministry has developed a strategic industrial revolution plan to fast-track Nigeria's economic diversification and promised to further incorporate the plight of local manufacturers into the initiative.
You made a lot of important comments, and I've addressed, so we talked about them as we went along. But one thing which is obvious that you're not maybe familiar with is the fact that we have developed what we call a Nigerian Industrial Revolution. And that plan itself is very different from whatever we've done in the past. In 4 main areas, I can say where it's different. It's different because it's very strategic, meaning that we're looking at the sectors, industries where Nigeria has competitive and comparative advantage.
In order for Nigerian economy to grow, Nigerian youth need to become productive. Small and growing businesses must evolve into world-class organizations by learning and practicing winning leadership strategies. This was a submission of renowned business and marketing consultant Brian Tracy at the Entrepreneurs Breakfast Enclave, which held recently in Lagos.
Remember, you will always have far more to do than you have time. So the only way you can accomplish anything is by doing only the most important things.
In his lecture, Tracy, who has consulted for more than 1,000 companies around the world, spoke on the requirements to building a high-profit business, with technology playing a critical role.
I would always do whatever you asked me fast. And I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but I learned later that's one of the greatest secrets of success in business. Is whatever your boss asks you to do it fast.
For participants at the event, it was a day made.
What I've learned from this event, Brian Tracy precisely, is about innovation, is about how simple it is to actually build and run a business by following the time-tested principles, which are very simple but difficult to follow.
It's the ripple effect we are creating. Is actually being able to make capacity building be something that will stand out in Nigeria. When you empower a man, like a white man said once, so when you stretch the mind of a man, it doesn't come back to its original position.
One of the things we saw in this was the fact that this is an opportunity for young entrepreneurs in Nigeria to learn from a renowned author like Brian Tracy.
One of our key things is pushing the development of small and medium enterprises as well as corporates, because that's the backbone of the country.
It's nearly 2 years since the launch of the Nigerian communication satellite 1R, a replacement for the first satellite commonly referred to as NICOMSAT-1, which was deorbited in November 2008, exactly 18 months after its operation. The launch of NICOMSAT-1R was acclaimed by experts, as the satellite is said to be a hybrid satellite with footprints in 30 African countries, parts of Europe and parts of Asia. We caught up with the Managing Director and CEO of NICOMSAT, Engineer Ahmed Rufai, at the just concluded meeting of the National Council on Communication Technology in Akure, the Ondo State capital, and he speaks on the impact of the NICOMSAT-1R and on several issues affecting the Nigerian ICT industry.
What would you say has changed since the launch of the NICOMSAT-1R?
Well, what has changed, number one, is the fact that there's capacity and there's capability. Since the launch of NICOMSAT-1R, the satellite control has been domesticated and domiciled in the hands of Nigerians. So that is capacity, and we've operated the satellite now over 18 months. You know, if you recall, the first satellite spent 18 months, and it was controlled by China. Yeah. Now it's being controlled by Nigerians. You know, so that's a demonstration of capacity and capability. What has also changed is the fact that Nigerians that are using it now are buying capacity almost 1/3 of what they used to buy it from foreign operators. What has also changed is the fact that when they buy this capacity, they buy in naira, they don't buy in dollars. So it has stopped capital flight appropriately to the percentage that it is being used. The quality of service from satellite is good enough, for the 90-80% of our requirement. You get it?
Yes.
Yeah, because you cannot be talking of salad for somebody who is suffering from malnutrition, suffering from hunger. You see Nigerians talking of latency, there is latency, fiber latency, and this and that. When you don't even have access to 2 kilobits per second or 4 kilobits per second, you get it. Somebody is dying of hunger. You are talking of salad. Okay. Now we have fundamentally what is just good enough. If you come to transportation sector, for instance, when we cannot even produce we can't even we did not even succeed in domesticating Pigeon, which is a very simple car. We have everything, but we couldn't just take it to the end, whereby we can start building our engines, molding our engines here, locally. And of course, some of the basic core component of the car, we couldn't domesticate. Now you'll be talking of we cannot produce BMW or high-end vehicle. No, that's not the issue. Start from the fundamentals.
Okay, we still have poor quality of internet service in Nigeria. What do you think is responsible for this, despite the fact that we have about 5 different fiber optic cables landed at the shores of the country?
The fact that fiber optics is not a one-fit solution, for connectivity to the last mile. To bring the question to perspective of an average Nigerian, non-technical Nigerian, one can reframe it that despite the fact that Lagos is bordered by the sea, why is there no water? In some part of Lagos, or pipe-borne water in some part of Lagos. Lagos is just by the sea. You get it. So the fact that we have the Atlantic Ocean, does not guarantee that somebody in Oshodi or in Alimosho or in Moshi will get water. Because there is still you needed to desalt the water. Then after the salt, you have to pump, you have to transport the water pipe connectivity to the home before the person can enjoy the water. So there is that need of piping. After landing at the shore, the terabyte of capacities. First of all, the fiber is just an ordinary pipe, no content. Internet has to flow into it. Now when the internet flows into it, if you want connectivity, then you have to be piped. Now how do you do this piping? There are 3 options: microwave, wireless, satellite, or fiber to homes, if we can afford it. But a string of fiber can take about 10 gigabytes. So if you take 10 gig to your house, what you are doing is like somebody who will use 1 meter pipe to bring water to his house. It doesn't make sense. Because an average home today in Nigeria, if you by the OECD definition, if you have 256 kilobit per second guaranteed connectivity, it is already a broadband. You get it. So you can do that via satellite, you can do that through microwave wireless. But one of the key problems is the fact that the last mile infrastructure to bring the fiber to the IP to me and you is highly limited. If by the telecoms policy we have said that the definition of broadband is 1.5 megabit per second. Those are definitions of developed countries. So which means that the bandwidth per capita for every Nigerian citizen is 1.5. So if you take 160 million Nigerians, so we are looking about 240 terabytes. So what you won't have in Lagos, the fiber optics you have in Lagos is still grossly inadequate, despite that you can't even distribute. So the key problem now is distribution, the last mile distribution, and that is where the satellite solution comes in as an immediate solution.
For news, views, trends in ICT globally and Africa in particular, watch AIT INFOTECH Network for the latest news and innovation in ICT for development in Africa. Plus, what technology can do for you from business to politics, tourism and culture. I am Bayero Agabi. You're welcome. You're on to your best ICT issue on the continent, AIT INFOTECH Network, and I am Bayero Agabi. To participate, don't forget to log on to aitinfotechnetwork.com, or you watch us live at South Africa TV on YouTube, or better still, you text us.
Hello and thanks for joining us in this interview segment of the program. I am Francisca Nana, and today we are taking a look at ICT development in Nigeria. At the just concluded National Council on Communication Technology, a lot of issues were raised by the participating states and various agencies of government that participated at the meeting that held in Akure, the Ondo State capital. To join us today to take a look at this is the Acting Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDDA. He is Dr. Ashiru Daura. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right. At the second meeting of the National Council on Communication Technology that just that's going on in there now, we saw you make some prayers, and some critical ones at that. One of them, you prayed that states should contribute 2% of their annual budget to ICT development. Why did you make this suggestion?
You see, currently states, spend at random without any specific amount. So as a start, we felt there is need to have a fixed percentage, so that a fixed percentage of the budget is dedicated to IT development.
Okay.
So if we start with 2%, maybe next year we will go a bit higher than that. But let us start with a dedicated amount, so that at one point somebody will not say there are no funds for this. But if we dedicate a certain percentage, then that percentage will be totally and fully put into IT development in the state.
Why do you think IT professionals should get a special remuneration?
IT is because of the importance of IT. Because nearly all the sectors will benefit from this, whether it is education, health, tourism. All the sectors will benefit from whatever is put in IT, because it will reflect either in terms of training of IT personnel, in terms of provision of infrastructure, e-government services. All the sectors will be the beneficiaries.
Some states asked today that the federal government, through NIDA, should give them 50% subsidy on the computer ownership scheme to enable them implement the project to a large extent. What's your take on this?
It's not feasible. Even the one driven by the FMCT, we are not given that amount. We are not given 50% subsidy. So how can we go and do it at the state level? You have 36 states and FCT. Now, if, assuming they say they want 100,000 people in every state to get a computer every year, and you are subsidizing by 50%, you can calculate how many, that would be a huge amount of money. We think of billions, which we don't have.
Yes.
And moreover, the states being, having their independent budgets, can subsidize if they will. All we need is the understanding, the awareness, and the will.
NIDA has been pushing for a national IT park. Is this project still in process?
No, it's not forgotten. Also, as I said earlier, we have a collaboration with Cross River State Government. The background of that was that we wanted to establish 2 IT parks.
Okay.
One in one of the southern states, and another in one of the northern states.
Okay.
So the Cross River State Government approached us for an MOU and an agreement so that that park could be situated in Calabar, in Tinava knowledge. And we agreed to sign the agreement, and we are working on it. So we'll go ahead, do a similar thing in the northern part, whether through an MOU or outrightly, which I think is not a good thing. The MOU is better because the states could provide some basic infrastructure, some facilities, and ours will be to put the remaining IT inspection services that are needed. So the project, the IT park, is really on course. We are pursuing it.
And over the years, NIDA has also organized a national conference, or should I call it an international conference of sorts, called iNigeria. Is this still going to continue?
This is our flag, zone of our flagship. We started it, and we, except I think 2011, we didn't miss it. Every year it comes, and even this year it is in progress. We are going to have it, God willing.
Okay.
So it is in progress. We have not abandoned, and we will not, God willing, will not abandon.
Okay.
It's because there's a lot of benefits, a lot of knowledge sharing, and other benefits.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
If you've been watching, that was Dr. Ashiru Daura, the Acting Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA. Thank you, and it's bye for now.
That is the show for now. For details, please log on to www.youtube.com/CyberAfricaTV for more details, or simply text us your comment. Until next week, I remain yours sincerely. Bye.